Okay, so I think we completed 9th 5-year plan. Was discussing basically it's a continuation of last class. So 9th or 10th, which plan we completed here? Uh, can you tell me? Yes, it's yeah. Good morning. We completed your 9th now. We have to start from the 10th 5-year plan. Okay. Yeah. Tenth 5-year plan. 10th 5-year plan. So 10th 5-year plan. Yeah. 9th we completed. Fine. Yeah. So we are going for 10th 5-year plan 2002 to 2007. 2002 to 2007. So this is period when 10th 5-year plan was implemented. Clear? So 10th 5-year plan was continuation of that, but same objective was remained same, but particular focus was given to achieve the higher economic growth. And initially in this plan, the initial target was 9%, but later on they, according to the given conditions, it's targeting the 8%. So main aim was to increase the achieve the higher economic growth in the country, because if country is not able to grow at the faster rate or the higher rate, then income it's not possible to generate, and if you are not able to generate enough income, then how can you use this income for development purpose? So if you want to eradicate the poverty, increase the job opportunities, achieve higher economic growth and development, you have to grow your economy at a very high rate. Okay. So just right, this plan aimed to achieve higher economic growth of 8%, higher economic growth of 8%. Rest of right. The targets also includes reduction. Target also includes in decrease in includes decrease in gender gap, and decrease in ICOR, and decrease in ICOR from 4.53% to 3.58%, 4.53% or 4.53. Not don't write the percent. 4.53 to 3.58. 3.58. Okay, write it numerical, but here numerical is not important for us. I am putting this numerical value so you can understand the concept of ICOR. Only for clearing the concept of ICR, so we put it this value. Continue. I will discuss this concept. 3.58 and implement an improvement. Sorry, implement not an improvement in overall framework of governance. Improvement of framework of governance. Okay, just I'm going. Give me 2-3 minutes. I will answer your questions. Okay, framework of governance. Full stop. Right. Agriculture sector was the main focus. Agriculture sector was main focus, and also you can write the agriculture sector was also the main focus. Agriculture sector was also the main focus, and agriculture sector was declared as prime moving force of the economy. Prime moving force of the economy. Prime moving force of the economy. Okay, prime moving force of the economy. Okay, full stop. Just think. So basically, if you think about 10th 5-year plan, so overall you are summarizing okay, the main target was to achieve the higher economic growth. And see, investment is one of the basic things. You have to increase investment, but utilization of existing capital and efficient manner, it is again the another challenge. Suppose you are investing but you are not utilizing it, again the question is you are not able to achieve the higher economic growth and development. So you have to invest, you have to create the capital, but also the efficient use of capital is one of the challenge for us. So you have to use your capital in very efficient manner, then only you are able to achieve the higher economic growth. So that overall target was that bring efficiency. Okay, and also the governance part. Yes, the governance part, because if you're not going for the improving a governance, overall governance, then again it's creating the problem. So these all were the targets. Now, what is ICOR? So ICOR is this meaning is incremental capital output ratio. This is the incremental capital output ratio. This is the meaning of ICOR, incremental capital output ratio. Full form I have written, but concept is just think. One were using the capital output ratio. One word we are using capital output ratio. Fine. See, capital we are representing by K and output we are representing by Y. So if you write K upon Y, so it is known as capital output ratio. Capital output ratio. If you're writing like this, go back to the very normal maths, what already you used and you are knowing that simple maths class 3-4 standard or 2 standard, it will give you this idea. What you are trying to say here, so simply you are saying, if suppose you are producing Y amount of output, that day also I told you that is capital Y we are going to use as the overall income of the country or overall output of the country. Say economy is producing capital Y, this much amount of output. You are already producing, and to produce, when you are producing output Y and you are using K amount of capital. So you are producing Y amount of output and K amount of capital you are using. If I am asking you how much capital you are using on an average per unit, so for 1 unit how much you are using, that's K upon Y. So K upon Y is known as capital output ratio. So what it represents, capital output ratio? It is saying that the per unit output you are using capital. It is saying the per unit output you are using the capital. Clear? You are already using it. Per unit output, you are using capital. And capital output ratio is very important. It's give you the other concept like, suppose you want to say whether we are more efficiency, we already efficient is there or not, or this plant is more efficient or not, depending upon ratio. Higher the value represents you are using more capital but you are producing relatively low output. Then only it is a possible capital output ratio will be higher. Out of the same capital, if you are able to produce more output, then capital output ratio keeps decreasing. It means you are bringing more efficiency in the system. So this is the one of the concept, you can use it, capital output ratio. Other way around, if you see the different way, suppose you are producing Y amount of output in the country, I mean in the economy, suppose, or in any plant you take. Suppose you want to increase the output level. Suppose you want to increase the output level, and suppose delta Y amount of output you are going to increase. Suppose delta refer the change in output, but delta Y amount you want to change, you want to increase. But for delta Y amount of output you want to increase, then definitely you need to use more capital. Suppose you are at this point today, you are utilize all your capital, fine. But if you want to use, you want to increase delta Y amount of output. So for delta Y amount of output, how much capital you need it more? Requirement of the capital, think about it. What is the requirement of capital? Say delta K amount of capital you need it. Delta K amount of capital you need it. So for delta Y amount of output, suppose this much amount of output you are going to produce additional amount, and delta K amount of capital you need it. So if I am asking you, okay, how much capital you need it to produce one additional amount of output? You are getting my questions? If I am asking you, if you want to produce one additional unit of output, then how much capital you need it? Then simply you can do one. If for one additional unit of output, you are going to, I mean it's required delta K upon delta Y amount of output, capital. It is the additional unit of output, one additional unit of output. If you want to produce, then how much additional unit of capital you need? That is known as the delta K upon delta Y. It is known as ICOR. It is known as ICOR. You are getting the meaning of ICOR? Incremental capital means change in capital and change in output. This is the ratio. Change in capital to change in output. So it is known as incremental capital output ratio. What is that? Incremental capital output ratio, delta K upon delta Y. So this is the concept. So you can see from here also, you can see there also, but it is need the requirement, how much additional amount you need it. UP commissions asked this question several times on the basis of this capital output ratio, incremental ICOR. So because the concept we are using it, suppose any plant is A and second plant is B. Say ICOR in plant A is your say 3 and plant B is 4. What is the meaning of this? They can give you two, ICOR of two country or ICOR of two different plants, and they can ask you, okay, which country and which plant is more efficient. So here you can see if you take the two different plant A and B, so B says that if you want to increase one more unit of output, then capital requirement is 4 units. If you want to increase 1 unit of output in plant B, the capital requirement is 3 units. So just compare it. Which one is more efficient? Plant A is more efficient. Why? Because you need here only 3 additional unit of capital to produce 1 unit of output, but here you need 4 units of output to produce 1 additional amount of output. I mean, you need 4 units of capital to produce 1 additional amount of output. So as far as efficiency is concerned, plant is more efficient. You are using less in your capital, but you are producing same amount of output, more efficient. So this way you have to understand. So what you have written, decrease in ICOR. The moment you are decreasing ICOR means you are bringing more efficiency, or you are making your economy more efficient. So either way you can take and you can explain the concept of efficiency, and that was the ultimate motive. So why I put this numerical value, it is there in the plant documents, but the concept is that you don't need to remember it, just you understand decrease in ICOR or increase in efficiency. I particularly mentioned this word because it was asked in the PT paper. Okay, ICOR particularly word, and they asked about the meaning of that. So now if you are knowing this, you can use and just write your answer. Clear here? Now, after that it's a 11 5-year plan and 2007 to 2012. So you written this, always you write few lines, and already I given you this and this. So you can write capital output ratio, what it represents, and you write the ICOR, the incremental capital output ratio. Always you try to put 1-2 lines, dear, so that you can revise and you can get it. Yeah, clear? No. 11th 5-year plan. It's from 2007 to 2012. Eleven 5-year plan, 2007 to 2012. Okay. Clear. So in 11th 5-year plan, when planners, okay, just a minute. You question one question you asked me, dear. Okay, sir, what is the criteria to set target goal range in 5-year plan? I mean, how playing commission set goals? See, dear, suppose, forget about commission, think about you. When you start running in the field, suppose today you achieved 1 round. So you are getting confidence in the next day I may increase. And how much I can increase? 1 more round. When you achieve the 2 round, then you're targeting, no, I may achieve the 3rd round. You keeps increasing. Why? Because you have started learning your potential, what I can do at a given resources. Same thing is the planning commission. Planning commission is not like the God, they can just see the future and can expect anything. Any institution, I'm telling you. Every institution, they are targeting a particular goal after considering the resources what they have, okay, the technology they have, the aggregate demand in the economy, and so many other factors. They are considering, and on the basis of that, they can only give you expectations. They can achieve or not, we can't say, dear. We can't say. Okay, we can't say. Several times you can see that the Indian planners, they are estimating India can grow around 7%, but the foreign international institution, they are saying, no, India can't grow 7%, India can grow 4%, 5% like this. So their expectation and calculation may be on the different parameters. Our calculation is maybe on the different parameters, because we have the actual data, everything, so we can estimate better for my own economy. But they can't understand the whole, the social function and everything. So the planning commission or maybe Niti Aayog, what they are going to do, they have to consider the given resources. What is resources? They can expect, oh, the market demand may remain like this, so demand may push the productions and employment. So all the factors they can estimate you here. Okay, this year economy may grow around 6% or 7%, but that is the expectation. If as per their expectation everything is good, then you can achieve 7%. But if something happen in the country, maybe due to the aggregate fall in aggregate demand, like in 2016, you can just think in the first 3 quarters, the growth rate was really very good. But due to the demonetization, drastically the output has declined, overall growth has declined. So you understand, if every expectation is working, your economy is working as per expectation, you may achieve. If something is happened due to any constraints, you may not achieve it. So targeting of this like this, clear? Sir, why we use ICOR instead of COR while calculating efficiency part? See, when you are going to invest something, when you are going to add something, okay, so always you think ICOR, because you are going to change in the capital, you understand it. You are going to investment, and remember I just discussed with investment means change in Capital means increase in capital during a given period of time. That is the investment we define, capital investment that day. So when you are going to investment, you have to think about, if I'm increasing this much amount of capital, okay, so increasing, so how much output we can add it, or you can say, if suppose I want to increase this much of output in the economy, how much capital we needed, and how much capital you are going to add, that is nothing but investment, change in capital. Just you see, I written delta K, and delta Y is the change in output. So every year you are planning increase in output. So when you are going for increase in output, then definitely you can see in this way ICOR. Capital output ratio is the already invested, already capital is formed. On the basis of that, you are just saying that, yes, what is my COR, capital output ratio? But that is the change you are going to do that. You are going for the new investment. So you have to check the ICOR. Clear? Now, so just think about the 11th 5-year plan. So during 11th 5-year plan, when policy makers were formulating this plan, so that time, really till that time, if you think about the 10th 5-year plan, the average growth rate was in 10th 5-year plan. 10th 5-year plan average growth we achieved 7.6%. 7.6% already we achieved, and target was 8%. So you understand, target was 8%. You already achieved 7.6%. It means economy. अब देखो, just next year, since already you achieved 7.6%, definitely it's approximately, you can just say you are approaching to the 8%. So next year definitely you are going to put higher level of growth rate, because already you achieved. This way it works. So when 7.6% in 10th 5-year plan, you have already achieved that higher economic growth rate. So planners analyze the economy, and they got one of the information, you can say one of the analysis, the outcome they are getting, that one side of the economy really performing better, there is a higher economic growth and development. The benefits of this higher economic growth and development is reaching to only few section of the society, or only a particular section of the society, or you can say only limited section of society is getting the benefits of this higher economic growth and development. All the masses of the economy, they are not getting benefits, and particularly the poor people, underprivileged people, marginal people, they are not getting the benefits from the higher economic growth and development. Then policymakers, first time they come out with the concept and the objective of inclusive growth. First time they came the objective of inclusive growth. So 11th 5-year plan, the main target priority was inclusive growth. Inclusive growth was the main target in the 11th 5-year plan. That target was met. Inclusive growth rate. Clear? So why? Because inclusive growth means that the benefits of growth and development, okay, should reach to the each and every person of the economy, or we can, it should reach to the last person of the economy. And not only that, inclusive growth also means that the last person or all of you can participate in decision making process. You have to you're part of the decision making process, your benefits you should get it, okay, and also all amenities, social rights and others, you should get it. Then only we can say from all round, everywhere, in all dimensions, you are the part of that. Then only we can say we achieve the inclusive growth. So inclusive growth was target of 11th 5-year plan. So first time in the planning history, the inclusive growth became the objective and targets. Just right. India had emerged as one of the India had emerged as one of the fastest growing economy by the end of the 10th 5-year plan. By the end of the 10th 5-year plan. 10th 5-year plan. Okay, right. The savings rate and investment rates were higher. The savings rate and investment rates were higher, comma, industrial sector improved, comma, foreign investments improved, etc. etc. Clear? Full stop, right? But the benefits of higher economic growth and development, did not reach to the masses of the people, particularly underprivileged, you can specify also underprivileged. You can write SC, ST, SC means scheduled caste, ST means scheduled tribe, SC, comma, minorities, and poors, Okay, full stop. Please write. Therefore, the objective of this plan was, write it in inverted comma, towards faster and more inclusive growth, Yeah, towards faster and more inclusive growth. Towards faster and more inclusive growth. ठीक है? So see, you can see that the faster means it's obvious normal one, but inclusive growth first time it is used and it was the objective of 11th 5-year plan. Clear? Right. Then next one is 12th 5-year plan. 12th 5-year plan. 2012 to 2017. And remember dear, it is the last 5-year plan. Till now, we don't know about the future. Why? Because maybe this government is replaced by the earlier government. They can come with the 5-year plan. And see, 5-year plan is also known as the Nehruvian model. So they may follow the 5-year plan. And see, even today we can't say, actually exactly we can't say today, कि really Niti Aayog is going to follow only 3 years action agenda or more than this. Because honestly, if you go in the main reason behind it, why the Niti Aayog formed the 3 years action agenda. So it seems maybe Niti Aayog can make the plan for more than 3 years. The reason is what? Because Niti Aayog in his documents quoted one thing, the PMO, the Prime Minister Office, asked Niti Aayog to form the plan for 3 years action agenda, 7-year strategy and 15 years vision documents. And one point is written that 3 years action agenda is why they requested, because the 3 years left for 14 Finance Commission's recommendations. 14 Finance Commission recommended. But 3 years, that is on the basis of that division of sources was there between center and state. That I will discuss in the fiscal policy under the Finance Commission. Yeah, there was a division of the fund between center and states. So 3 years left during that time. That was on the basis of 14th Finance Commission, the fund were divided. So since 3 years left, so 3 years plan, to make the 3 years plan, that was requested. But we can't say in the future they are only going to make the 3 years plan. But yes, fact is still today, since Niti Aayog made the 3 years plan, 7 year strategy and 15-year vision document, so we can depend on that. Okay, when they will make, we will change our statement. Okay, but you can say that this strategy, like the 3 years strategy and like a 3 years action agenda, it's a deviation from the 5-year plan, or we can say Nehruvian model. And it's true that as far as Nehruvian model is concerned, we deviated. Because today you can see the government policies, all the government policies, we are focusing more on MSME, micro, small and medium enterprises, like Startup India, Stand Up India, MSME policies, Mudra Yojana. You take all these, they are focusing on more on the micro, small and medium enterprises. Plus, if you see the central government policies, they are giving more focus on the rural areas, development of rural areas, rural industries, rural, one word, agriculture and allied activities, animal husbandry sector. And these all comes, the development should start from the village one. And that is the Gandhian approach. Because that is the difference between the Nehruvian model and the Gandhian model. So Nehruvian model says that on Nehru's thinking that just develop the upper layer of the economy first, like the large scale industries or industries, then its impact will be visible to the village one. Okay, impact is there, then village should develop in all the areas. And top to bottom approach. But Gandhi says that no, Gandhian model says that no, development should start from the village. And you start developing village, then you aggregate at the national level. So if development process is like this, you are starting development from the village and the local, the village and the cottage industries, agriculture, allied activities, animal husbandry sector, then development in this way you are aggregating at the national level. It is the Gandhian approach. And today if you see and analyze the government policies, yes, it's moving towards in these directions. So yes, it's a deviation, but as far as number of year, like the 3 years or 5 years, it's very difficult to say this time. But yes, till now, it's a 3 years that we can say. Okay. So right, 12 5-year plan, 2012 to 2017. Yeah, if you see the period one, so in 2015 India, the SDG, Sustainable Development Goal, SDG program of UN, United Nations, that was implemented and adopted. Just think, SDG, Sustainable Development Goal, it will be discussed in your class, don't worry. Let me go to the topic wise. SDG, Sustainable Development Goal, was implemented for 15 years. So this program implemented 2015 and will continue till 2030. Clear? So you can understand in 15 that was implemented. So maybe for 5 years back, the draft started preparing by the UN and consulting all the states. So every state was aware, every nation was aware. Okay, now we are going to achieve the objective of sustainable development. So if you think about this 12 5-year plan, so main objective was sustainable development. But since inclusive growth objective you not achieved, so inclusive growth is again remained as the part of 12 5-year plan objective, but sustainable development was included. So this 12 5-year plan main focus is on inclusiveness and sustainability. Clear? These two objective is there. So just write all of you. This plan means 12 5-year plan was implemented at a time when the global economy was going through financial crisis impact, and precipitated by the Eurozone crisis, Okay, I will tell you Eurozone crisis, don't worry, just you write first. And precipitated by the Eurozone crisis, which erupted in the last year, of the 11th five-year plan, which erupted in the last year of the 11th five-year plan, which erupted in the last year of the 11th five-year plan. Clear here? Right. This crisis affected all countries. This crisis affected all countries, including India, and growth rate declined to 6.2%, and growth rate declined to 6. You can understand 7.6 you achieved, now it's 6.2%. Growth rate declined to 6.2% in 2011-12. In 2011-12. Okay, 2011-12, full stop, right? Therefore, पानी सर 1 घंटा होने को है. Therefore, 12th five-year plan emphasized the first priority to bring the economy back at higher economic growth and ensure inclusive and sustainable development. Clear? Full stop. Right. The broad vision of 12th five-year plan, was, write in inverted comma, faster, sustainable, and more inclusive growth. Faster, sustainable, and more inclusive growth. Okay, faster, sustainable, and more inclusive growth. Clear here? Yeah. Inverted comma close करके stop कर देना, ठीक है dear? Just please go through this and tell me till here the one. So you are able to develop a trend in the Indian planning system. Okay, I only discussed here. You can just which is going to help you to develop a framework related to the Indian planning. So if you're aware about at least this much, then really you can compete, you can analyze, you can compare what is going on today. Because if I can say it is a good, then definitely good must be in respect to something. If I'm saying it's not, it's a bad, then bad must be some respect to something. So you are going to compare. So if you don't know, then how can you compare the institutions, the working of the economy, and other things? So at least you should know, because we are not going to face the one-day exam. So you have to just analyze and explain the thing. So you should know. Clear? But it is a minimum that we are trying to give you. Again, I am telling you, the education, the knowledge, there is no limit. So you can understand this, okay? But minimum, I'm trying to build it. I'm providing you so that you can build your framework. Now, just go through this, all the 12 five-year plan, and tell me till here is any problem, any questions. One thing is true. I mean, no, you can use this space only. One word we used, Eurozone crisis. Eurozone crisis. Clear. Eurozone means You are knowing the European Union. You heard about it, right? Okay, European Union. Now UK is not the part of European Union, so the all member countries, they adopted the common currency, and that common currency is the euro. So now all the member countries are the monetary union also. Now it is a monetary union. So Eurozone is the monetary union where all members countries accepted the common currency, that is euro. So the whole member countries area, the whole area of the combined member countries is known as a Eurozone. So crisis was economic crisis I'm talking about, 2000 USA, and then later on in 2011 it was the all European Union faced the, particularly Eurozone faced the crisis. Okay, that's you are saying referring a Eurozone crisis. Clear? Now, if you think about this, then first to 12 5-year plan we have discussed. But tell me, in this 1 to 12 5-year plan, how many years we spent in the planning? How many years we spent in the planning? So if you take like simple calculations, 12 5-year plan, all are 5 years, mostly 60, but one plan terminated before 1 year, so it is a 59 years. One plan terminated before 1 year, that is when Janata Party government came in the power. Okay, and first 3 years, 66 to 69, is your plan holiday. Then 2 years, your rolling plan by the Janata Party government. And again 2 years, plan holiday 90 to 92. Now you add it. See, 66 years of plan. See, yeah, it's true. The 12 5-year plan continued till 2017. Continued. Even the Planning Commission was replaced by the Niti Aayog in 1st January 2015. But the Niti Aayog continued with the same plan. So we can't say that it did not work. They worked till 2017, completed the whole time period. So just you think is 66 year of plan formulated and implemented by the Planning Commission. Okay, so you can think in that this way. Suppose India was here on the first and suppose take the first 5-year plan when it was implemented. India was here, and your target was given to bring India here. And to bring India here, you have taken so many efforts. So you are possible to bring India from here to here. Suppose you are got success to bring India to here. So what these things, these all are till here, it is going the credit to the Planning Commission. These all are achievements. Our all achievements even today, the credit you can give to the Planning Commissions. Because when they started the Niti Aayog, a major year we spent in the pandemic one. So major things you can see, it's a just outcome of the Planning Commissions, the policies like our Green Revolution. You start from the Green Revolution we achieved that make us full sufficient today. Okay, you can take the per capita income of the country has increased. You can say poverty has declined. I'm not saying the eradicated, but true, the poverty to some extent it's a declined. Okay, we should get the new measurement. New measurement if you take, then it maybe in compared to previous one it has increased. Maybe, but because we are expecting due to the pandemic there is huge loss in jobs. Population has also increased in meanwhile this area. So if you are going to the number of heads, that is the incidence of poverty you're talking about, it may go up. But let us wait for the official measurement. As I requested all of you already to you, personal data, personal any research institutions or any persons giving any quotation, any informations, don't use that. Always use the official data. But if you compare the 50s and after that, to some extent poverty also declined. Okay, so it's happened that services sector you developed, you can say that. So job opportunities created, but it's true, but not as per our requirement, not as per our requirement. So these things you can say that these are, investments happened, international trade improved, we are started receiving more FDI, FPI. Why it's happening? Development process is there in the country. We can't deny that nothing happened in this country. So whatever positive, any positive things you are getting till now, you can give the credit to the Planning Commission. All are the achievement of Planning Commission. We are not denying that. But the only problem is that in India, we reached here, but we wanted to reach here. So the gap which is left, this gap which is left, okay, this gap is basically, we can say, it's a drawback, or we can say, okay, due to so many reasons, Planning Commission failed to achieve this target. Okay, but try to just criticize in different way. You always say that due to so many reasons, okay, so many reasons means maybe like the lack of technology, the more poverty prevailing in the country, more population in the country, lack of capital. Okay, this may be the reason that we are not able to achieve this. Okay, so that you can say achieve that. So outcome is what? You see India, we achieve growth rate, higher growth rate, but it is a jobless economic growth rate. Yes. Second, industrialization, we started from the second 5-year plan, positive. But what is the adverse one, or the negative one? You can say still we not develop the strong industrial base. Still a significant proportion of the population is staying below the poverty line. Lack of employment opportunities, and that's the reason that, okay, more unemployment is prevailing in the country. Nowadays you can take this example and you can say that. Okay, agriculture sector, yes, we achieved we got the full green revolution, but still in agriculture sector productivity is relatively less in our compared to neighbor countries. That we can increase it. Inequality, if you're talking about, yes, India is the number one, among the neighbor country is the highest income inequality is there in the India. Okay, just the economic survey report for 5 years back, if you see, then you can say that. Next, regional inequalities. Some states of the India, they developed they developed it, but other states are still the backward states and the poor states. Okay, so this gap remained. Gender inequality remained. Okay, so you understand this thing. So these are the things, okay, we can say, okay, these are the challenges we are facing, but the earlier setup, earlier institution, they failed to achieve these challenges. Okay, so to meet the new challenges, okay, the government, not we, the government replaced the Planning Commission with the Niti Aayog. Okay, you can say that the way they are working, okay, it was difficult to meet the new challenges. Now the way the Niti Aayog came with a new mindset, new strategy, okay, so they are able to, they may solve the new challenges. That we can say that. Let us wait, really they are able to not, but the principle they adopted, the principle of working principle they adopted, there is a possibility they are going to solve all these problems. Okay, that way you can say that. But my very basic question I am asking you, if you really want to criticize, okay, what are the reasons behind we failed to achieve the targets, okay, and where we wanted to bring our country, but we failed to bring our country at that point. So what are the points you prefer, basically overall? So many points you can say that it's a very subjective matter. So you can just put so many points. One questions, yeah, you are just sending me. Sir, in terms of Gandhian model of economic development, why is bottom to top? Decision making is inclusive of people. See, what you are trying to say, sir, in the terms of Gandhian model economic development, where the way is bottom to top, the decision making is inclusive of people, but the implementation needs more bureaucratic involvement. See, you understand, don't take the meaning of bureaucratic interventions in the wrong way. See, you can understand bureaucracy is the machinery, bureaucracy is the framework. And you can say that bureaucracy is the nerves of our body. Without that, we can't survive. You understand this point. Okay, you understand this point. Without a particular system, without the efficient bureaucrats and bureaucratic system, it's very difficult to control the economy and achieve the higher economic growth and development. Least bureaucratic intervention means what? It is the negative sense. Negative sense. What we have to change, we don't want to change the bureaucratic system in that way. What? We should remove everyone from this one. No, allow them. But the attitudes of the bureaucrats, it should be friendly. Intervention means they should work as a friend, they should work as a partner. Okay, they work as the facilitator. That's we want. That is the need of the economy. But we can't say bureaucratic intervention should not be there. We can't operate here. We can't operate even development, administration. And can you bring development without strong administrations? No, you can't. So we can't say the bureaucratic intervention should not be. Bureaucratic intervention should be least in the sense that the bureaucrats or bureaucracy should not stop, should not delay the development files, the growth, and also they will not act as an impediment for the implementation of policies. That is the things we want. Ease of doing business means we don't want to remove the bureaucrats from the development project. No, they are going to the part of that, but the working style, the working style, it should change. They should act as a friend, they should act as a family members, they should cooperate, then only we are going to achieve. So even the inclusive growth or decentralized planning system, we are not saying when you start formulating the ground level, village level, so you should remove the bureaucrats. No, bureaucrats must be there. Then who is going to channelize all the things to the upper layer? But they can feel the problem of the local area. They can understand the problem of local areas. They can act as a family member. They should always come as a helping nature. And I'm telling you, all the bureaucrats are not like that, what we're thinking. So many bureaucrats, a significant proportion of bureaucrats are like the family member. And that's the reason we are able to survive. Okay. So don't take in that negative idea. We are not talking about bureaucracy should behave or should act and should should act as a helping to the development and growth and development. They should not act as an impediment. That is our motive behind it. Okay. So if they are, then it's fine, no issue. Eurozone crisis means you understand Eurozone, we are saying a particular zone or area where all the member nations adopted the single currency. So European Union today is the Eurozone, is known as Eurozone, and it is also the monetary union. Crisis means economic impact of economic recession. So they faced recessionary impact after USA. That you are saying it is a Eurozone crisis. Clear? Subham, you are saying, sir, from 1951 to 2017, in this total economic ups and downs, there was no mentions about scams led by various businessmen or entrepreneurs. I think it should also a negative impact. See, when you're going for the larger things, the macroeconomic things, and so this can't, you can give excuse for not achieving your target. Like you are preparing for UPSC exams and suppose you can't blame, suppose you are getting or not, but you can't blame Kia's given conditions, because it is seen that students are in any conditions, if they decided to clear, they are getting there. They are getting. Even you can say, sometimes we are saying the economic reason. Now you just take the example of our state. The government of West Bengal given you this platform, to whom? If the person they are not able to prepare and they can't afford it, but they want and they are really very good, so they given the platform. So how can we can say these are going to act as impediments? If you really we want, we can get it. So if you are not achieved higher economic growth and development, we can't blame ki scam ho gaya, ye ho gaya, so that is not. No. So we are avoiding this at the micro incidents. Sir, what is the approach for China, top to bottom or bottom to top? Oh, China is implementing both at the same time. That is the good things for the Chinese. Okay, they are good things for the Chinese. Where it needs top to bottom, they are doing that, and where it needs the bottom to top, they are doing that. That is the reason. Okay, the governmental support is only from top to bottom. They are giving the support, and the process they are also taking the bottom to up. So both they are implementing. See, if you think about first to 12th 5-year plan, then so many reasons you can give it. But if you summarize it in very few lines, okay. So one analysis you can make this from the policy structure, you can say, because you can, if you want to say criticize on the policy, then you can just write it. In first, after independence, we adopted the socialist pattern of development. But we never given the environment of socialist economy. No, we never given the environment. We have seen the USSR, they're growing faster, and after seeing that, we adopted their policy. Fine, I will also adopt and I will also grow. But USSR was able to give the environment. Every economic policy, outcome of economic policy is depending on the environment. If you are not able to give environment, they can't work, they can't get the result. Same things happen in India. You have seen just economic policy, but you have not considered the environment which was prevailing there. There was no concept of the private properties, but India, private sector, but India is still today, and that time also, the agriculture, which is one of the largest sector, the 100% is under the private hands. Okay, so you can say one point, yes, we adopted the socialist pattern of development, but we failed to provide the environment. After 1991, you adopted the capitalist pattern of development, but again we failed to provide the environment. Because capitalist pattern need a special kind of environment, that is the more friendly environment, okay, where we failed. So under the same bureaucratic framework, we allowed the development of capitalist economy, the market economy. Okay, and I am not saying, you are not saying, but you can write this point. Why? Because in 2014, September, the government of India come out with the policy Make in India, and go and see that Make in India's. I just requested yesterday the Make in India. So you see the Make in India, the one of the pillar of Make in India is what? Ease of doing business. So somewhere government adopted that we are not able to provide the freedom and the conducive environment for the business in the India. So you adopted the Make it ease of doing business in India. And this budget, the budget which is already presented on 1st Feb 2022, there you also adopted. No, now we are implementing ease of doing part 2. So you can write it. Yes, that is the one of the another reason. Third point, you can say, under the Mahalanobis model, we given more focus for industrialization, but our approach was development of basic and heavy industries. So we created the potential in the country. We created the potential. We developed the heavy industries. But since due to the licensing provision, we failed to create the consumer goods industry. So if you fail to create the consumer goods industries, then utilization of these potentials remain. You are not able to utilize it. And that's the reason you failed for industrialize your country. So simply, these are the 3 points, and this point, it was discussed in the one of the article, which is written by the Kaushik Basu. I mean, he's really very renowned economist. You are knowing him about better. So his article is really very good, Oh, okay. So you just you can write this few points here, and you can just say that. Other points you can write it, but again you can write because in your exam when you are going to write, so earlier approach, academic approach, we have to avoid, because in academics, same thing you are writing from the different way and trying to make them so many lines. So here you have to write in very concise way. So you have to also develop the habit and the practice. Okay, there's so many things, but how we can summarize and write in the few lines so that you can complete your writing in within the words and within the time limit. Okay, please write all of yourself. Give the heading contradictory result or contradictory vision in Indian planning. Contradictory vision in Indian planning. Okay, you write contradictory vision in Indian planning, right? The actual policy regime, that India followed in its early days of independence, was a mixture of the two, contradictory visions, Full stop, you right? A Soviet-style planning system, was developed. Developed without the state, without the state having a monopoly of control, without the state having a monopoly of control over the resources, without the state having a monopoly of control over the resources. Okay, right. Capitalism was allowed to develop. Yeah, capitalism was allowed to develop under the same bureaucratic framework, under the same bureaucratic framework, under the same bureaucratic framework. Okay, under the same bureaucratic framework. Clear? Right. Huge investments were made in basic and heavy industries. Huge investments were made in basic and heavy industries. But at the same time, several sectors were protected. But at the same time, several sectors were protected. Okay, several sectors were protected under the licensing provision. Full stop, right? Capitalism was criticized, but it was also relied upon. Full stop. Socialism was never practiced. But the socialism was the norm. Okay. Now, just check all of you and tell me this part is over. Clear? Now, we are, after doing this 5-year plan, we will discuss you the 3 years action agenda. But 3 years action agenda, since it's formulated and implemented by the Niti Aayog. So, first let us know about the institutions. Okay. So, after knowing the institution like the Planning Commission, NDC and Niti Aayog, okay, then we are going to discuss about 3 years action agenda, which is the last one here, and then we will stop here. Clear? And then we are going to discuss the other thing, the next topic. Clear? So you understand first, and already I discussed with you. In 1950, since you are knowing, the Planning Commission was constituted. And in 1952, the National Development Council was constituted. So when NDC was constituted, it was decided that the Planning Commission will work under the NDC. So the highest decision making body became the NDC, National Development Council. What is NDC? So here from central government side, the chairperson was, the Prime Minister was the chairperson, acted as the chairperson, and the cabinet minister and other minister also was the member of this planning commission, NDC, and all chief ministers of state governments and lieutenant governors of UTs were the members of this NDC. And the planning commission member also was the ex officio member of the NDC. So that was the NDC was a council, and they supervised and helped to formulation of the plan. Okay. But problem was that NDC was only interacting during the plan formulations, and hardly it was once in a year and twice in a year, only during the plan formulations. So even under this framework, the role of state was very less. It was list. Okay, only list, and only role was only plan formulations. Why? Because the chairperson of NDC was the Prime Minister, and also the Planning Commission chairperson was your Prime Minister. So most of the decision they are taking in the while when you are going to implement it. So state's role and say was very less in this earlier structure. So on 1st January 2015, the planning commissions, the government constituted the Niti Aayog. They constituted the Niti Aayog. And they replaced the planning commissions. But if you see the Niti Aayog, then highest decision making body is the governing council. GC is your governing council. Okay, and this part is known as the permanent full-time organizational framework. FTOF means full-time organizational framework. So this is the full-time organizational framework, where again the chairperson was the Prime Minister, but the the vice president is there, vice chairperson is there, and basically vice chairperson is the very active one. So there are team which are going to formulate the plan and implement the plan, but the final decision will be taken by the governing council. Yes. And in governing council, okay, Prime Minister is still the chairperson, all state chief ministers are the members, and UTs having their own legislature, their chief minister is the member, but only UTs, their lieutenant governors is the member in this governing council. Since all decisions are taken by the governing council, even in the formulation and implementations, and they have to review all the implementation, the governing council have to give the report. So in this structure, in this framework, role of a state is relatively more. So state having the more say in this structure. Okay. But if you see compare these two, so then you will get NDC is nothing but NDC is the governing council, and planning commission nothing but is the full-time organizational framework. So if you wanted earlier, then it may possible within the same things you can just bring the changes, but only one concept is that, okay, let us bring the new mindset in the system so that they can work efficiently. Okay, so some system they followed, the planners, the new government, they thought that, okay, this strategy is not good for the solving the new challenges. So let us constitute a new institution with new mindset, and they are going to just solve the new challenges. So this is the difference between these two. So first few things you know about the Planning Commission and NDC, then you can understand and you compare, yes, these two institutions. And if you see last 2-3 years, then question is asked after 2015, question is asked on that. how the Niti Aayog is different from the working as of Niti Aayog is different from the Planning Commission. So always remember for this exam, any new things you are getting it, please compare with the other institutions or other system, because there is a trend they are asking in the comparative analysis, and you can only do if you are knowing both the system and you are able to compare it. So that approach always you keep while you're preparing for your comparative exams. Okay, right, Planning Commission. Right, all of you. Right, the Planning Commission was constituted in March 1950. Was constituted in March 1950 by a resolution of the Government of India. By a resolution of the Government of India. See, from here you can learn it, the Planning Commission was not the constitutional body. Planning Commission was not the constitutional body. Okay, it is just come out with the, establishment of Planning Commission was due just by the resolution of the government. But Planning Commission is termed as the extra constitutional body. The people we are used to say extra constitutional body in so many the personals analysis paper and research paper, so many individual experts, they are saying it's an extra constitutional body, but it's not the constitutional body. Extra means other than the constitutional body, but it's holding the huge power, and the power means the Planning Commission had the power to allocate funds among the ministries and among the states. So, and they are holding the huge command, okay, among the states. But particularly, basically this power should remain with the Ministry of Finance. So this time, when Niti Aayog constituted, the Niti Aayog today has no power to allocate funds. This power is given back to the Ministry of Finance. Niti Aayog is just a policy making institution and implementing institutions. So for fund, you have to take permission and approval from the Ministry of Finance, because constitutionally Ministry of Finance is responsible for that. So since power it was with the Planning Commission earlier, so some of people are saying it's an extra constitutional body, because huge power there, and central government started controlling the state government through the Planning Commission, because Planning Commission had the fund for allocations. So if you are following the dictate, they will give you fund, otherwise not. But this is happening today also to some extent, but I will tell you later on how this is minimized. It's minimized. Okay, write it. Right. By a resolution of the Government of India, and worked under the overall guidance of the National Development Council. The National Development Council. Okay, full stop, right? The Planning Commission was consulting the central ministries. The Planning Commission was consulting the central ministries and the state governments while formulating 5-year plans. And annual plans, while formulating 5-year plans and annual plans, and also supervised their implementation. Full stop, right? The Commission acted as an advisory body. The Commission acted as an advisory body at the apex level. Okay, full stop, right? The Prime Minister was the ex officio chairman of the Planning Commission. The Prime Minister was the ex officio chairman of the Planning Commission. Okay, right? Deputy chairperson was in the rank of a cabinet minister. Deputy chairperson was in the rank of a cabinet minister. Full stop, right? A member of the planning commission, was in the rank of a minister of state in the union government. Minister of state in the union government. Okay, full stop, right? Cabinet ministers with certain important portfolios. The cabinet ministers with certain important portfolios acted as part-time members. This much information you should know. Why rank? Because commission asked this type of questions. So they asked, and they may ask. Okay. So when we are going to do the Niti Aayog, also with the same point of view, we can also observe the Niti Aayog compositions. So cabinet minister and second state minister in union territory, that is basically the rank, and you can only see the importance of rank when all the rank holders is sitting in the same program on this one. You can see the one whole row only one person is sitting, and next row the whole crowded, everyone sitting there. And after that the huge crowd is there, but first row is just vacant, only one person is sitting. Yes, other cannot sit there. Why? Because the person who is sitting in that row, no one is equivalent to their rank. So they can't sit. That is different things. He can ask you to come and sit with me. That is a different issue. Okay, but normally you can't sit with that. That's the importance you can give it. And other facilities is there. So this was there. And next one is National Development Council. After this, you can write NDC. Oh, already it is there. NDC. Yeah, write NDC, National Development Council. Few lines only. Right. The National Development Council. Was not a constitutional body. Again, it was not the constitutional body. Again, it's come out with the resolution of the government. Right. The National Development Council was not a constitutional body. Full stop, right? Union Cabinet constituted the NDC in 1952. With the following functions. First, you write providing guidelines for the formulation of plan. Second, you write consider the plans formulated by Planning Commission. Third, assess the resources for the plan. And recommend a strategy for mobilizing resources. Yes, dear, in planning, one of the very important things, mobilization of resources. Okay, because it's true how to mobilize resources, because for planning you need huge expenditure. So you have to think about how to channelize the resources. Okay, from the taxes, non-taxes, but you have to meet it. And last one point you write, review the progress of the 5-year plans and suggest measures. Review the progress of the 5-year plans and suggest measures. Suggest measures. Full stop, right? Change the paragraph. NDC was headed by the Prime Minister. You can understand Prime Minister of India. So I'm not writing, just I'm telling Prime Minister. NDC was headed by the Prime Minister and comprised with all union cabinet ministers, comma, chief ministers of all states, and administrators of UTs, and members of the planning commission. Administrators of UTs and members of the planning commission. Okay, members of the planning commission. Full stop, right? Planning commission members were ex officio members of the NDC. Okay, dear. Now, this much at least information is to have. Okay, relating to the planning commissions and NDC. Then later on we will compare it between the NDC and the Niti Aayog, so you can get the ideas about this. Fine. Okay. Now we are going to the next institutions. That is your Niti Aayog. NITI, Niti Aayog. Okay. So Niti Aayog means National Institution for Transforming India. National Institution for Transforming India. That is the full form of Niti. Niti is the also name of someone, Niti, but generally Niti here is the National Institution for Transforming India. Okay. Since already I given you the introduction about this, and I also compare these two institutions. So just write first the National Institution for Transforming India. National Institution for Transforming India was constituted through resolution of the Union Cabinet on 1st January 2015. Just I am going to give you small introductions, not more than this. 2015, full stop, right? Niti Aayog is the premier policy think tank of the Government of India. Niti Aayog is the premier policy think tank of the Government of India. Niti Aayog is the premier policy think tank of the Government of India. Provides both directional and policy inputs. While designing strategic and long-term policies. And programs for the Government of India. Okay, full stop, right? Niti Aayog also provides relevant technical advice to the central and state governments. See dear, every state, most of the states having their own planning commission. So they formulates. But if you are getting any difficulties, and you want some help or technical advice, you can approach to the Niti Aayog. Or when you think relevant, let us I am requesting Niti Aayog to formulate the plan. So Niti Aayog will formulate the plan for you. Okay, that is the overall objective. Please write, all of you. The Government of India, in keeping with its reform agenda, the Government of India, in keeping with its reform agenda, its reform agenda, comma, constituted the Niti Aayog to replace Planning Commission. Constituted the Niti Aayog to replace Planning Commission. Even you can the government, after that you can put the comma, so you can get the government constituted, and the line keeping in reform agenda, you can understand due to this the government is constituted. In this way you can interpret. Okay, right. This was done, written now, Aayog to replace Planning Commission, and this was done in order to better serve the people, better serve the needs and aspirations of the people of the nations. Yeah, better serve the needs and aspirations of the people of the nations. Finally, development you are doing for the public, the individuals, the whole individual I am telling about, the nation. So that you can write. Okay. Needs and aspirations of the people of India. Now, yes, dear. Knowledge and innovation, this two hub, what you have written? If you see, or you can say the two pillars of Niti Aayog. So you created the Niti Aayog, but the creation of Niti Aayog is based on two hubs, or you can say the core of Niti Aayog is two hubs. One, you can say the Team India hub, and second is the Knowledge and Innovation hub. Knowledge and Innovation hub. So basically, the basic theme on which the Niti Aayog is working is your Team India hub, and second is the Knowledge and Innovation hub. Okay, reason is what? What is the meaning of that? Now we are going to doing the objectives. So now you write objectives of Niti Aayog. Yeah, give the heading. Introduction part is clear. Now you write objectives of Niti Aayog. Okay, dear, first you write to develop. First objective you write to develop cooperative federalism. To develop cooperative federalism through structured support initiatives. Through structured support initiatives and mechanisms. Through structured support initiatives and mechanisms with the states on a continuous basis. on a continuous basis, comma, recognizing that strong states make a strong nation. Strong states make a strong nation. Okay. Strong states make a strong nation. Please read and try to get this. And this objective you connect with this hub. That is a Team India hub. Connect it. And you are able to connect it. Your question is going to switch. Okay. You send one questions. Subham, you got your the answer. I hope. Second is China. That's also I just discussed. Second, you send me, does government took any initiative to increase awareness among common citizens about policies of 5-year plan? I really like these questions, dear. See, whatever things we are doing right now, we are doing for the exam purpose. So yes, you can say the district having information, the block having informations, the state level having the information, because you understand the central government is going to implement any plan. So plan they are going to implement through states. State participation is very necessary one. So you can see in the district level and the block level, they are getting information. But what you want to ask and what the question I am getting from you about the normal citizens. So I am telling you NSS report, dear. NSS report I am telling you. For MSP, only around it was around 30%, you can say. Even below than 30% it was. Below 30% it was. NSS report saying that below 30% it was, I remember. That is, farmers are not aware about MSP. Only aware is below than 30% farmers are only aware about that. You understand? The huge amount of fund the government is spending on this MSP policies, and only this one, that much percent is only aware about it. And they are getting benefits. Most of the farmers, hardly even they don't know what are the products on which the MSP is given. Leave it. Just take one example. Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana, I am talking about today. Forget about that year. Even today, under the Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana, you are only targeting the 50% of the farmers. It is targeting that. Just see that provisions. What's about the other? Your target, it means actually so many farmers are not aware about this one. So yes, somewhere it's lacking it. But at least thanks to today, we can thanks to the media, IT sectors, communication sectors. It's true, it's good. At least we are able to get awareness about the so many policies through media. Okay, your IT information technology, the platform you are getting it. At least now you are getting more awareness. And one more thing, now government officials also changed their strategy, their attitude. They have changed it to so many. I mean, just interact today's, and particularly the newcomers are coming. There is a train in that way. They are trained in that way. Okay, they are trained in that way. And remember, so many times when you are going to meet with the bureaucrats in the office, so officers are really very good, very genuine person, very normal person, very humble person. The problem is, you know what? The peon, they are sitting in the just out of the office. They are not allowing you. They are not even the officers. They don't know. They are very interested, very keen to interact with the people that know the fact. But that is the thing. At least good we can say today. Okay, the media, the information technology, the mobile phone where you are getting all information. Government also using these platforms to make the aware about it to the normal citizens, common citizens. There was also the lack of informations, lack of communication gap. So that problem is what there. So understand the given structure. But now structure developed, people are knowing about these things. Even online, all the departments, all the ministries today, they have to put on the online things, what are the program is there, how the benefit, how they can get it, eligibility, the fund, everything you have to write it. Each and every department has to write this. Now this problem, so many, I mean, to some extent, we are able to solve nowadays. But yes, it was the problem earlier. It was the problem earlier. But you can blame the given structure. Don't blame the particular institutions or particular person. Okay. Because if suppose I am sitting in the office, I can't understand, I can't get the everyone, I can't go to door everyone. But it is the job is assigned to the other subordinates. Other subordinates. If subordinates are not, I mean, there is maybe some issues behind, in this. So the problem you cannot just say and put in the whole administrations. But today, subordinates is doing, but already you will just send it directly to them through the online and on the IT platform. So now awareness is really very good nowadays. At least people are aware that policy. Okay, now come back to the first policy. I think no question left. So first point you written here, objective is what? To develop the cooperative federalism. Cooperative federalism, Team India Hub, these two are very similar, but different words we are using it. See, remember, Team India concept is what? Team India concept is, take the example, you are aware about that, the Team India, like cricket team you take, football team you can take the cricket team. What you have seen, what you observe. If you want to win a particular match, you have to work together. And there must be coordination among all the members. If there is a coordination among all the members giving their best, giving the efforts, only you can win the match. Now, assume this Team India Hub as a whole nations. Yeah, central government is the captain, fine. But who are the players? The players are the state governments. To understand. If state governments are not cooperating, you can't achieve your goal. You can't win the match. That is the reason the Team India Hub is the core of the Niti Aayog. And that is a cooperative federalism. See, you can well understand this by just taking one example. You take, I think all of you participated or you organized a particular program in your college or school level. Definitely you organized. Just take the example, if you are the part of that program, if you are part of that, and suppose I am the part of that program which is I'm going to organize in my college or my school, I and my core team, who is the part of this program, we are giving our best. And only one objective, get success. You are giving your best. Only aim is to get success. But on the other hand, suppose some of your friends, they are organizing a particular program and event in your college, and you have just hi and hello, the relationship, and you are not the part of team. Think about yourself. Are you giving your efforts? No. Just you are going and asking, it's fine, it's good. Kaisa chal raha hai? They are saying, okay, fine. But when you are part of the team and you are a decision maker, you are taking your own initiative to get success of that. That is the main intention behind cooperative federalism and Team India. That if any decision related to plan is going to, if we are taking it, all states must participate in the decision making process. Why? If all states are participating, all states, you can see I am not naming a particular. If suppose even today, if the central government ignoring some chief ministers and they're not asking it, just they are doing the formalities, Ayana. I'm taking in the personal language like you and me. Okay, not properly they are inviting, not giving the importance. So what is happening? They are not going to implement the plan. Okay, so you have to convince them. You bring all these states at the same platform. Include their grievances. Include their grievances. And then you take the decision. That is the motive of Niti Aayog. Any decision related to plan and development or any other, we can make together, we can sit together, we can take decision together, or any member having any state having some issues and problems, that will be sorted out, that will be included, and then we are going to take the unanimous decision. So once decisions are taken by all the parties, means state governments and the central governments, then each and every state is going to implement in their state. Why? Because that time you will giving your best, because you are the party of that decisions, you are the part of that decisions. So you can't stop yourself, because what you wanted according to your states, that part is there. So now your responsibility is to implement this. And if you are going to implement in all the states, then only you can get the result of higher economic growth and development. But then only the objective of plan you are going to achieve this. Clear? So that things you have to understand it. That is the reason his word is there. Recognizing that strong states make a strong nation. Strong states make a strong nation. So all states has to work together. And state has to. And one of the best example is GST Council, where the states and central government combinedly they are taking the decisions. You can't leave the monopoly of particular. And here you can just think about it. One thing I'm asking all of you. Where is the central government? I know it's this question. I think you can take different way. Sir, kya aap puch rahe ho? What you are asking? I know the central government has this power, that power. I'm not asking that. Leave it. Leave it. Simply, I am asking, if I given you political map to you, you can recognize, yes, it is the West Bengal, it is the Northeast state, it is the Delhi, it is the Jammu and Kashmir, it is the southern states, Gujarat, like this you can recognize. Have you recognized the central government? Some UTs are there, which is under only administrative one. But have you recognized any physical existence? We are talking about the physical existence. So if central government is formulating any plan, where the central government is going to implement? So definitely they are going to implement in the states. Because central government plan means what? The whole nations. And whole nation means what? All states and UTs. If all states are not cooperating, how can you implement? So you understand it. This plan formulated by the central government, it must be implemented in states only. And if states are not cooperating, you can't get the result. So if you want to get result, if you want to achieve higher economic growth and development, so you have to develop the cooperative federalism. And you have to give equal weightage to all states. Then only you are going to get the solution. That's way. That is the aim of Niti Aayog is working. Practically I'm just accepting practical may differ. But for exam purpose, you have to go through this here. Okay, you have to go through this. Okay, next point you write. Develop a mechanism. Next point. Develop a mechanisms for formulation and second point you're writing formulations and implementations of plans at the village level and aggregate these plans at higher levels It means If you want to write in one word, it's nothing but it's a decentralized planning. It is decentralized planning that I discussed you that day. You are starting your formulation of plan from the very village level and panchayat level, then you are aggregating at the state level, and all states then you are coming to the national level. Okay. Now next one you write, the interests of national security, the interests of national security are incorporated, the interests of national security are incorporated in economic strategy and policy, in economic strategy and policy, in economic strategy and policy, in economic strategy and policy. Okay, full stop. Right. The pay, I just ऐसे लिख लो आप लोग. Okay, what do you mean? So first of all, what is the meaning of this? First is the second is the decentralized planning. Third one point, he says that the government of India, I mean the Niti Aayog, will always give more importance to the national security. Okay, so when they are going to take any economic decisions or they are going to formulate any economic policy, the Niti Aayog will give more importance to the national security. If any policy bringing national threat or security threat to country, they are not going to implement this. Okay, and to some extent that it is visible and new changes you can see in the country. Yeah, it is visible. Fine. Now next you write, special attentions to the sections of our society, to the section of our society that may be at risk, of not benefiting properly from higher economic growth and development, Okay, so basically what's Niti Aayog saying that here in this objective, okay, till now the section of society that not benefited from higher economic growth and development, these people will be given more special attentions and focus so that they can get the benefits. Now, you can see the policy today, yes, so many, number of policies and programs made for the development of these section of society. You take the Ujjwala Yojana, okay, where they are giving the free link to the, free gas connection to the, the below poverty line persons. You can just also include the highly subsidized foods is given to the targeted PDS system, like 1 rupees, 2 rupees, 3 rupees. You can include the Har Ghar Jal, every girl you want to bring the tap water, connections. Okay. Second, you can say that, okay, Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana for the poor people also. So they are giving it, the rural development programs, okay, village development programs. So these all are there. Animal rearing program, they are giving the importance to the underprivileged section of the society. They can come out. Even Stand Up India program, if you see that under Stand Up India program, there is a provision. One SC, ST persons, every branch has to land for the setup of their plant in the industry, the production unit, or go for the business. And one women's, it is necessary for each and every branch to land it without any collateral. Okay, so these provisions are made, the policies are there, okay, for the government, and they are giving a special focus to this section of society, and they are doing that. Okay, if you just consider the so many programs, you can just see that the government's more inclinations towards this section of society, and it's a very necessary one. It is a requirement of the economy today, because we have to bring them also in the parity of the other development parameters, and that's we have to do. And Niti Aayog started doing that. Okay, next one you write, advise and encourage partnership, advise and encourage partnerships between key stakeholders at national and international level think tanks, as well as educational and policy research institutions, Okay, just read till here. Read this point, then I will discuss your one question I again. Oh, okay. Okay, I'm trying to maintain a balanced balance. I'm not going too fast and I'm not going too slow, but sometimes it is there, then extremely sorry for that. I'm trying to dictate you in the proper way, but maybe sometimes fast you are sending me, but I will take care of this. Okay, but most of the times kabhi kabhi ho jata hai, it's maybe I can understand, because there is a time gap between what I'm saying and what is reaching to you. And second, writing it takes time, but saying is lesser, it takes very relatively less time. Okay, I will maintain, don't worry. So what I'm trying to say in the last point, not I, what the Niti Aayog is saying, that the last point you've written that Niti Aayog is a think tank. You understand the concept of think tank. Think tank means it is the institutions having the group of persons, and that group of persons really very expert persons, domain people, expert people, skilled people, and they have all the expertise, most of the expertise they have. Okay, fine. So it is a think tank like the domain people group. So any problem nation facing, maybe state is facing, maybe whole on an average nation is facing, so they will help to formulate plan as per the requirement of the central government or requirement of the state government. The state government is state requirement, and national government requirement means overall national requirement. If suppose Niti Aayog has know that domain people, suppose a particular state is facing any particular issue, particular problem they are facing, suppose concerned to that related the issues, concerned person is not available in the Niti Aayog framework, Niti Aayog, like then what the Niti Aayog can do? That Niti Aayog cannot stop themselves. So Niti Aayog will contact to international think tanks. If any other nations has this concerned people, domain people or experts, they are knowing and they are aware about this problem, they can help to solve these problems, then the Niti Aayog will contact. Niti Aayog will take help and try to solve this. Even within India, if some other local bodies is there or other any bodies or research institution is there, then Niti Aayog will contact and consult to them. You know, when you go to the universities or any technical like IIT you are going, your Calcutta University, take the example. Okay, Jadavpur University you take the example, Kalyani University you take the example, you JNU can take the example, like any university you can take the example. You go to the IIM Joka also, then you can see that some professors, they invested their whole life in a particular area.
in particular area. Maybe someone is working on the poverty, someone is working on the nanotechnology, someone is working on the farmers, some particular chemical like this. So they are really invested all the life, 20, 25 years, 30 years they invested. So they are very expert in that particular field, very expert in that particular field. So the moment you can say, they can easily understand the issue and the problems, and not only they can understand, they can also suggest what should be the appropriate policy which can solve your issue. So if any problems and policy problem you are facing, suppose you don't have the domain people, so you can contact the international domain people, that is the international think tanks, or any research institutions or any education institution or research institutions, and the concerned people, concerned domain people, you can get consulted and get the problem solved. You can make and formulate the plan. So this is the overall objective of the Niti Aayog. They are working on that. Few points left under these objectives. Okay, so I will discuss with you the other points, and once we'll complete, I will try to complete your the 3 years action agenda which is formulated and implemented by Niti Aayog. And then if time permits, today I will start your the poverty, because after that we are going to discuss poverty, unemployment, then I will discuss your fiscal system. Clear? If time permits, then I will enter to you. Till here, any doubts? Okay. Okay, dear. So we are meeting after break.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.